Hello, it is I, the Travy Bear, bringing you a first place box tourney Dinomorphia deck profile. Because this deck is cute. Alright, start things off. We're going to go with something not Dinomorphia. Kashtira Unicorn. We're playing Cash Stuff. And 3 Fenrir. Unicorn being able to search Birth or Theosis, and then Fenrir to grab either itself or Unicorn. Pretty good, and they're free bodies. Therizia. Oops, I know we're not playing 3. We're playing 3 Therizia. On summon, sets a Dino Trap and becomes a 2K if your life points are 2K or less. The worst card in the deck, Diplos. On summon, Foolish Burial's a Dino card, either the trap or a monster. Because we do a whole lot of stuff now, we play Thrust. When your opponent hand traps Unicorn, Fenrir, Therizia, or when they interrupt Theosis, or potentially Birth, you can Thrust and set your Dino traps or whatever traps that you want. Pressure Planet to search our Fenrir stuff. Theosis to summon Cash Stuff. Birth to revive Cash Stuff. And it has a graveyard manipulation that doesn't come up too often. Pot of Prosperity to get our combo pieces. Frenzy. The best fusion trap. Domain. The fusion trap. Soul the Supreme King. Brings out my favorite extra deck monster in the entire game, Zark. Oh yeah, pay half your life points to summon 1 Zark from your extra, ignoring its summoning conditions but negating its effects. It is returned to the extra deck during the end phase of the next turn, and then whenever your opponent activates a spell card or activates its effect, you can banish this and the Zark as cost to summon the Arc V Dragons. Infinite Impermanence, because we don't like cards getting their effects. Daruma Cannon to flip stuff face down, and it's pretty nice this format with Malice. And it also pairs well with Soul the Supreme King. So the combo is activate Soul, summon the dragon with its effects negated. Zark says whenever this card is summoned, it blows up the opponent's board, and it's not an up to. It is a mandatory trigger. So once it hits the board, it activates even though it's going to be negated. Dromaconin then flips it face down. And because it is face down, it is now live. So it blows up the opponent's board. And I was doing that all through the night. It was so great. It makes me want to run a third one, to be honest, even though we have Thrust to set it. Trap Trick. Being able to set our traps from deck. Iffy on this card, potentially come out for another Karma Cannon. Or something else. For the counters, Iron Thunder. This, in my opinion, is the best counter going first or second in this deck. First, just does what Solemn does. And then going second, you set this underneath one of your opponent's cards that you know will activate, like maybe their extra deck monster, and it has a spell or trap right underneath it and a monster underneath it, who knows? Which did occur. And then during their turn, if they were to activate something in that same column, Iron Thunder, negate everything in that same column, or negate the card and then destroy everything in that same column. So you have Iron Thunder set there to protect your other spells and traps from being destroyed. The other one is Strike. Through playing, I kind of miss using the Dino Archetype Strike to be able to protect yourself from battle damage. So I may either take Trap Trick out or a Solemn Strike out for it. And that's it for the main deck. Just 40 cards, cool stuff. We're going to go into the extra deck. So you've got the good Zark, lore good Zark. And then you've got OG Zark. This is the one that has its effects negated, comes into play, its mandatory trigger. Blows up the board. It's cool. These are the dragons that you play with the soul trap if your opponent activates a spell. Brave Eyes. Stop 0 attack monsters from activating their effects. Crystal Wing. Spell or trap negate. And being able to buff himself unaffected by monster effects as turn is really cool. Rexterm. The boy himself. Skill drain all legs, essentially. Pays half your life. Change the attack power of opponent's monsters to whatever your life points are at resolution. It's why the deck works, to be honest. It's why we play the deck. Kentragina. Potential big booty. And also being able to banish your traps, copy their effects. It's the archetype's Anaconda. South Persia. You don't usually play this one unless you have a spare strike and your low on life points and you kind of want to use it. But it does have a neat burn effect. When your opponent activates a monster effect, you can burn your opponent for however much their attack power is. So it's neat. Situational, but I've summoned it more than maybe 7 times this year. If that even matters. IP and SP. Because you can actually make this in this deck. If you go Unicorn, search Birth, and then normal summon either of the dinos, do dino effects. You link off an IP and then Birth, bring back Unicorn. So during the opponent's next turn, you go into SP. It's cool. Red Eyes Flare, because we do have an opportunity to make it with Unicorn and Fenrir. While this card has Xyz material, cannot be destroyed by card effects. And each time your opponent activates a card or effect, you burn them for 500 at the end of resolution. Against a Malice player, I burn them all the way to 100 life points during their turn, and then I killed them. It was great. And the last card is Sky Crisis. It comes up. For the side deck, figured I'd give these cards a try. Fualos, the new Max C at home cards, and Perulia, because we like drawing cards. This is a good going second card. Also a good going second card, Shifter. You know him, you love him. Mourner. I thought this would be a cute play with the Red Eyes Flare, being able to burn them while the hand trap burns them as well, potentially. But it never came up. It was the weakest side deck card. So it may be changed for something else. We got the Solemn Judgments in the side for when we're going first. As I've said, I think Iron Thunder is just the better counter trap going first or second. Judgment is Judgment going first. It's really good. And D-Barrier, we can search it with Tactics. It's just a good card right now. Alright guys, that is it for the Dino Dick profile. Bye, have a beautiful time, and as it stands.